I'd like to welcome you all to the Hope Unitarian Church. It's great to see everyone today, and I'm the Reverend Justin McCreary, and I'm excited that you're here this morning. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism, one of the things I always like to say is that we are covenantal, we're not creedal. This means something very simple and can be summed up with words attributed to David Farring. One need not think alike to love alike. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Being rooted in love, we believe that all human beings should be treated with dignity and respect. On this hill, we seek hope, love and justice together in community. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, in whatever your life circumstances, you are welcome here. At this time, I would invite everyone to rise and body your spirit as you feel called as we sing our hymn for gathering. It is our tradition at Hope Unitarian Church to begin every service with the lighting of the chalice. And as we light the chalice, we say these words. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. You may be seated. Our invocation this morning comes from Carl Seberg. Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak, in the songs we sing. Let there be help and healing for our disharmony and despair. Let there be silence for the voice within us and beyond us. Let there be joy in our coming together. At this time, let's say our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. And I would again invite you to rise and body your spirit as we sing the hymn, I've Got the Joy Down in My Heart.
So very happy, I've got Good morning. I'm Jeff Dossett, and I'm going to do some announcements today. Next Sunday is Easter Sunday, and so we invite everybody to come out, have a great Easter Sunday where we're going to have the kids do an Easter egg hunt after the service, it looks like. Well, I was going to say, raise your hand if y'all like orange juice. Everybody like orange juice? Good, because that's all we have for breakfast on the hill. That's literally all that's signed up on the sheet. Oh, we have some oatmeal now. So we need everybody, as soon as we're done, to go find the sheet and find something to sign up for. If you're able to do breakfast on the hill, that'd be great. If not, lots of orange juice. The day before, on Saturday the 19th, we're going to have a Gardens and Grounds cleanup. Anybody is welcome to come and help. The more, the better. The faster we get done, that'd be a great thing. But we're going to do some planting. I'm going to have some plants up here. I'm going to have some mulch to spread around and kill some weeds and spread out some stuff. So we look forward to that. We're going to start at 8:30 and try to be done by noon, okay?
Add that the choir's been working very hard on the music to Godspell for service. So just take that into account that we're having a special service as well. And it should be very fun and exciting, and we'll have some special guest singers.
Excellent. Wednesday, the 17th, is game night at 6 o'clock. I think they start Thursday. It says Wednesday on here, so Thursday the 17th. I'm sorry, I was reading the notes there. But 6 o'clock is when it starts. There'll be a little gathering for food, and then games after the food. Okay. Also on Thursday the 17th, there's Congressional Town Hall. Is that correct? And it's a coalition of concerned constituents, including members of the Tulsa County, is holding a town hall at All Souls. The doors will open at 5:30. Senators Lankford and Mullins and Representative Hearn have been invited to attend and answer questions. If you would like to attend, there's a sheet out there to sign up. Side with Love, the gathering rooted in love and rising for justice. This is on, I guess, tomorrow. But people of faith have always come together to resist injustice and build a better world. Now it's our time. Join the gathering, a new monthly virtual event from Side of Love to strengthen your spirit understanding. Watch the recording on the 14th, and all the details are on the highlights. And if you don't read the highlights, you should read the highlights, as Mr. James would say. That's all I got. Thanks.
Meditation this morning is by Reverend Joe Cherry. Joy is hard. Joy requires us to feel safe enough, to be safe enough, to open to vulnerability. To feel joy, you must be brave. Joy walks into a room after the space has been cleared of shame, cleared of doubt, cleared of self recrimination. Joy is hard. Joy is hard, and joy is worth the hard work of preparation, preparing oneself and setting down all the defenses, all the shoulds and could haves, all the should not, have nots, and might haves. Joy is worth the work. You are worth the work. You can start small, the simple pleasure of your favorite tea, the grand freedom of a full belly laugh. Invite joy to be your companion.
Our reading today is Joy by David White. Joy is a meeting place of deep intentionality and self-forgetting, the bodily alchemy of what lies inside us in communion with what formerly seemed outside, but is now neither, but become a living frontier, a voice speaking between us and the world, dance, laughter, affection, skin touching skin, singing in the car, music in the street, the quiet, irreplaceable, and companionable presence of a daughter, the sheer intoxicating beauty of the world inhabited as an edge between what we previously thought was and what we thought was other than us. Joy may be practiced, hard-won, achievement as much as by an unlooked-for passing act of grace, arriving out of nowhere. Joy is a measure of our relationship not only to life, but to death, and our living with death. Joy is the act of giving ourselves away before we need to or asked to. Joy is practiced generously. If joy is deep from love, it is also the raw engagement of the passing seasonality of existence, the fleeting presence of those we love understood as a gift, going in and out of our lives, faces, voices, memory, aromas of the first spring day, or a wood fire in the winter, the last breath of a dying parent, as they create a raw, beautiful frontier between loving presence and a new and now blossoming absence. To feel a full and untamed joy is to have become fully generous, to allow ourselves to be joyful so as to walk through the doorway of fear the dropping away of the anxious, worried self, like a thankful death itself, a disappearance, a giving away, overheard in the laughter of friendship, the vulnerability of happiness, and the magnified vulnerability of imminent loss, felt suddenly as a strength, solace, and a source. The claiming of our peace is the living conversation, the sheer privilege of being in the presence of the ocean, the sky, or a daughter's face framed by the mountains. I was here, you were here, together we made the world.
In his book of essays entitled Consolations, David White takes everyday words and defines them often in the most frustrating way possible. I wonder often if reading White, if he sits with a word list next to him to cram as many $10 words as possible into them. I thank Jeff for reading that selection, Joy, because there are some that I've read that make a whole lot of sense, but that one I had to sit with for a long time. It starts out like this. Joy is a meeting place of deep intentionality and self-forgetting, the bodily alchemy of what lies inside us in communion with what formerly seemed outside, but is now neither, but become a living frontier, a voice speaking between us in the world. Dance, laughter, affection, skin touching skin, singing in the car, music in the street, the quiet, irreplaceable, and companionable presence of a daughter, the sheer, intoxicating beauty of a world inhabited as an edge between what we previously thought was us and what we thought was other than us. I had plans to get a big poster board and diagram the first sentence, and I got stuck because it's built with prepositional phrases embedded in prepositional phrases to what my grade school teachers would probably call a run-on sentence. But if you read through his book and look at the way he considers words, he goes beyond just defining them. He handles words like someone tasting wine, one of those people who's really good at it. They consider the look, the color of the wine, then the scent, the nose of the wine. Once considering the nose of the wine, they finally take a taste of the wine, but not much, just enough to roll over the tongue and sometimes never even swallow. Those people. And from this, the wine taster draws out of the wine not just the flavors, but the flavors within the flavors, the notes of the wine. Me, like words, I like to gulp wine. I consider very little about it. I don't let it linger on my lips or rest on my tongue. I swallow the wine and then wonder when it's appropriate for me to take my next drink. To say this is how I use words means that I use words like stuff and things a lot, because I don't always have access to the multisyllabic words, the $10 words that David White so easily draws seemingly from the ether. What I mean is, I have to read things in stuff over and over again and listen to someone else read it and finally read it out loud to get the nature of what he's doing. For fun, I thought about diagramming the sentence and gave up after the first line of diagramming. However, if there are any English teachers that would like to diagram this sentence, I would love to give it to you and see what the diagram would look like. Listen again to the recitation. I'm going to try and do it justice, but we're going to just let the words flow over us. Joy is a meeting place. A meeting place of deep intentionality and self-forgetting of the bodily alchemy of which lies inside us in communion with what formerly seemed outside but is now neither, but become a living frontier, a voice speaking between us and the world. See, when White uses the words, it's not just a definition. He's considering how the word engages the human condition and nature. He tells us that joy is where two things come together. One of those things is our inner self, and the other thing is our outside, the thing that's outside of us, but becomes us. But for this to happen, we have to forget ourselves and create something, even if just for a moment, new. Our joy then is not a momentary fling, but a new creation that stands between us and the world, describing it as the sheer intoxicating beauty of the world inhabited as an edge between what we previously thought was us and what we thought was other than us. He's saying that joy is always a new creation and creates a new way to experience the world. He lightens up his second paragraph and makes it easier to understand in the beginning, saying that joy may be made by practiced hard-won achievement as much as by unlooked for passing act of grace arriving out of nowhere. He is saying that joy might come from difficult work. I remember when I used to cycle and I finished my first half century, my first 50-mile ride. At the completion of the ride, I wept with tears of joy because of the work that it had taken for me to be able to do that. But joy is more than just something that comes from hard work. It's also the experience of dancing in the kitchen while preparing dinner when your favorite song comes on, or grazing the hand of someone so deeply loved that it sends chills up our spine. He describes these in the section of a first paragraph. One of the most straightforward things he does in describing joy is dance, laughter, affection, skin touching skin, singing in the car, music in the street, the quiet, irreplaceable, companionable presence of a daughter, the sheer, intoxicating beauty of the world inhabited as an edge between what we previously thought was us and what we thought was other than us. He reminds us there is often a subtleness to joy, but also a grandeur to it. In this section, he tells us the stuff and things of joy, but reminds us that these things change us. They make us a new creation. Joy changes us. It makes us a new creation because joy is not limited to being inside, but is not so expansive that it gets lost on the fringes of our souls. It's not necessarily inside or outside, but lives forever in a place where both inside and outside touch, saying joy is a measure of our relationship, not only to life, but death and our living with death. He'll go on to say there's vulnerability in joy. Joy is an act of giving ourselves away before we need to or are asked to. Joy is practiced generosity. White finishes the second paragraph saying, if joy is a deep form of love, it is also the raw engagement with the passing seasonality of existence, the fleeting presence of those we love understood as gift, going in and out of lives, faces, voices, memory, aroma of the first spring day or the wood fire in winter, the last breath of a dying parent as they create a rare, raw, beautiful frontier between loving presence and new, now blossoming absence. Throughout his thing or essay, he makes lists of joy, some practiced and hard, some simple and easy. But the thing I would ask you to do is say, can you make a list in your head of the joys that you experience in a day? The touch of a loved one's hand, resting on a bed of soft pine needles while a tree hides the sun but allows the breeze to cool us down. The smell of a fresh orange. The taste of a childhood delight that you haven't had since you were a kid, a piece of candy or a kind of pastry. The dance we make up when Daft Punk comes on the radio. The way we move our hips to our favorite song. The memory of my grandmother's home on a Sunday morning anytime I hear Vivaldi's Spring. The moment we embrace our fears and look out into a new world. The moment we know, even in our pain, that we are not alone. Do you make a list of the joys you experience in a day? Some days joy comes because of the hard work that we do, and some days it's just a chance song on the radio. Sometimes joy is hard, and sometimes it's not. In her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, Brene Brown talks about joy as if it were twinkling lights. She says, it's not a constant and comes to us in moments. And like the moment in which it comes to us, it departs. Embracing joy then is like drinking from cupped. This is me, and this is my thought. Embracing joy then is like drinking from cupped hands. The water is fresh and clean and perfect, but no matter how light or how tightly we cup our hands, the water always drains out. Joy can be difficult because to fully experience it, we must be willing to let it go. I would not even dare you to harness joy, because joy harnessed becomes sorrow. Joy, like Brown's twinkling lights, will come and then it will go. I stayed home from work one year and watched Barack Obama sworn in as our nation's first African American president. Some years later, I listened to Amanda Gorman's words during the inauguration of the first female vice president. One of the phrases that struck out to me was, "Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished." And then I watched in disbelief during the first inauguration of Donald Trump, sorrow and fear during the second. But does that disbelief, sorrow, and fear make the prior statements of joy untrue? No, it doesn't. I can always look back to the joy in Amanda Gorman's words, the exuberance of the healing that came of years of segregation with our first black president. But like twinkling lights, joy comes and it goes. If we were to harness it, it would turn to sorrow. We create something new when we feel joy. So, in conclusion of his essay, David White says this: to feel a full and untrammeled joy is to have become fully generous. To allow ourselves to be joyful is to have walked through the doorway of fear, the dropping away of the anxious, worried self felt like a thankful death itself. A disappearance, a giving way, overheard in the laughter of friendship, the vulnerability of happiness, and the magnified vulnerability of its imminent loss, felt suddenly as a strength, a solace, and a source, the claiming of our place in the living conversation, the sheer privilege of being in the presence of an ocean, the sky, or a daughter's face framed by the mountains. I was here, and you were here, and together we made a world. The generosity for which he speaks is what makes the appearance of joy so vulnerable. In our joy, we give away something of ourselves because we make something new. And that new thing will then be made into something else. He says to be joyful is to have walked through the doorway of fear. And the sadness is that joy is only true if we can let it go. It's a very hard time in the world in which we live. It's very difficult in the United States. We feel as though we're under attack and our way of life might be being disassembled. We feel as though there is no time for joy, but to White, joy is not something we make time for. It's something we walk through our fear for. It is something to which we are vulnerable. So during this time, don't apologize for your joy. And don't apologize for your sorrow when others feel joy. Don't apologize for your place in the dance between joy and sorrow. Remember the words that have been passed down to us from writers like Toy Derricott. Joy is an act of resistance. From Brown, we are reminded that joy is vulnerable. And I will be honest, it's difficult to be vulnerable right now. But that is why we also remember the words of David White and say that joy is on the other side of the doorway of fear. Folks, sometimes joy is really hard and takes a lot of work. And sometimes it's easy and just pops on the radio. During this time, take all the joy you can get, hold it close, then let it go, so we can be ready for the next time joy comes to visit. And if you have to, make a list. Make a list of the things that give you the experience of joy. It may be a touch, someone's face, an exciting sermon, complicated words. It may just be the people you see around you. But it is important in this time that we not just feel our joy, but understand our joy, so that we can understand where it comes from, so that when we need to, we can go back to it. Because in joy, we create something new, something that was not. In joy, we find love, in hope, in vulnerability. Thank you. Our generosity recipient for the month of April is City Lights. If you would like to give directly to our generosity recipient, we would ask that if you're writing a check, you write generosity on the memo line of that check. If you're just putting cash in, don't worry, cash goes directly to the generosity recipient. If you'd like to make your pledge, if you'd like to pay your pledge at this time, you can leave the memo section blank or put cash in the provided envelope. In that way, it will go towards our operating fund. At this time, we invite you to give with generosity and hope for the future. Can we have the next slide? We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves at fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. We are ever bound in community. Our final hymn will be hymn number 116, I'm on my way. I would invite you at this time to rise and body your spirit as you feel called. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way to the freedom land. I'm on my way, great God, I'm on my way. I ask my sister, come and go with me. I ask my sister, come and go with me. I ask my sister, come and go with me. I'm on my way. Thank God I'm on my way. I ask my brother, come and go with me. I ask my brother, come and go with me. I ask my brother, come and go with me. I'm on my way. Thank God I'm on my way. I'm on my way and I won't turn back. I'm on my way and I won't turn back. I'm on my way and I won't turn back. Thank God I'm on my way. And at this time, let's say our words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fires of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Sometimes joy is really hard, and it takes a lot of work. And sometimes it's easy and just pops on the radio during this time, take all the joy you can get, hold it close and let it go, so we will be ready for the next time joy comes to visit.
Christy,
Wait, I wanted, I asked him, I said.
I have a song of joy for you if you want to listen to it.
Okay, you know.
Wait just a second, I need to make sure I don't have something. I don't have it.
I see. All grannies. If that's the case, then I'm definitely.
What is muffin say?
Every Janet needs a
No, we
ring.
have Ellen Dolly.
I feel very lucky I've not caught up to
And, okay,
That's me.
yeah,
Pretty much at the end of the
so, money-wise, it was, and so you can find.
Oh my god.
We'll take this.
Oh, absolutely. You get two.
Who is
She's
that?
Janet Arborita. She started